wanna drive a faster car. Lay my troubles to rest. Blow the smoke through my cigarette. City lights looking fine, and I know this is my time now. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I just wanna feel alive. It's just what I do when I'm out, so try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars. I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars. I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me. Look at the beautiful stars. I wanna drive a faster car. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes.
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, Rebellious Business Network. Great to have you guys here, and hello to everyone watching on the live stream. My name's Cordelia. I am the Rebellious Business Coach alongside Caroline, who has gone blonde, ladies and gentlemen, the Rebellious Messaging Coach. And we run this show every week to bring you training, tips, tricks, resources, support, a good old laugh, all sorts of stuff. Every Wednesday at 10:30, we are here live for the Rebellious Business Show, and here we are. Couple of things first and foremost. Caroline, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
For once, we haven't really been on Zoom that much before the show, so we can go, how are you doing, Caroline?
Oh, fantastic. How are you doing, Cordelia?
I am all right. Having a kind of meh week today. Let's keep it real. For everybody else having a meh week, I want to own it. I'm having a meh week this week, but that's about to change because this show always lifts me up. But yeah, how about you? I think
having an okay-ish week.
An okay-ish week.
Yeah. Could be better.
Space for those of you that are also having an okay-ish or meh week. Well, a couple of announcements. First and foremost, I know that this show is going to cheer me up and make me feel amazing, because it always does. I love this space, and it's great to have you guys here. Great to have everyone on the live stream here. Drop us a hashtag replay if you're watching this on the replay, and if you've managed to jump on so soon on the live, hey, welcome. It's great to have you here. Drop us a hashtag live in the comments so that we know you're here. This is going to be an interactive session. We would love to be chatting with you in the comments, so please do keep them coming in. Let us know where are you right now in the world. Let us know what country you're in. Have you got some sun?
Yeah, physically, not emotionally. Like, where are you?
Yeah, emotionally. Right. Emotionally bedraggled, physically Wales, something like that, you know. I think what would be a good thing for us to do is start with a message from our sponsor. Caroline, do you want to do that, or would you like me to do that?
I will do it. Actually, no, I'm not entirely sure on. Yeah, you go.
You want me to go? Okay.
You go.
So this episode of the Rebellious Business Show is sponsored by Mark Chu, who is the founder of DJ Tutorials, and has a live show called Dex Education. And he's done this after years of experience in being a DJ, deciding to work from home once he'd got to such success with his DJ career because he's got children and he wanted to work in a different way. And now he helps DJs to become professional DJs working in clubs rather than DJing from their bedroom, for developing a hobby or creating the business of their dreams. And where this is relevant to you, if you're not a DJ, but you are a business owner, is Mark has a weekly show called Dex Education, where he is teaching his awesome DJ audience that he has been cultivating for the last few years on lots of different aspects of running their own DJ business and having a successful DJ career. And he covers topics such as mindset, such as marketing, such as real talk, and also the tactical, practical DJing bits as well. Now, if you're a coach or a mentor of some kind, if you feel like you've got some value to share to somebody who is trying to start a DJ business, knowing through being a business owner yourself of all the struggles that come with starting a business and all the areas that you need support in mentally and physically, if you feel like you've got a talk topic that would be helpful to those DJs, we are going to share a link in the chat for you to apply to be a speaker on Dex Education. And Dex Education is Mark's weekly show that is a live stream show just like this one, and also a podcast. And he's getting some high profile guests on that show. He's got loads of people applying to speak, and it's a really great opportunity to get out in front of a fresh audience and, well, teach some DJs some of your magic. So if you like the sound of that, then the link is in the chat in the comments. Go ahead, click that. There is an application form to fill in, and Mark will be in touch if he thinks that you have got something that he wants to have on the show. We need a sound effect now. Segment ended. Segment ended.
Segment ended.
So what we're here for today, what we're talking about.
So we've got a few people on the live, Facebook Live as well. No, we've only got one comment from Nicola, who cannot get into the Zoom. So I'm just giving her the link right now. Although we'd love you if you stayed on the live, because then that increases our reach. That is one of the banes of our life at Rebellious, is that we prioritize connection. And so for that reason, we have our audience join us live on the Zoom call, because it fosters that sense of connection. However, it does mean that people join the Facebook, they watch us live, and then they join us on the Zoom, which says to the algorithm, I don't like this content. So it is a bit of a tricky situation for us. We do always prioritize the connection and the community. So we're so glad to have everyone here. Actually, I had someone on a call with me this week saying, I didn't know you even had people on the Zoom. Right now, we've got people in our Zoom call, but we've just hidden them. It's just Cordelia and I on the spotlight. And so I think that can be like kind of misleading. People are like, oh, there's I thought it was just me on the live. I'm like, most people on the live come over to the Zoom. So yeah, if you can, direct Zoom stream as well in the background. But if not, don't worry. We love to have you here anyway. So today we're going to get into a really powerful system of content creation. But I think the best thing to do is to start with what is the problem that people are struggling with in terms of creating content. And we'd love to know, when the thought of creating content, if that thought does occur to you, the thought of creating content occurs to one.
I think it does. It occurs to so many people. I think it's like the wake up every morning like, shit, I've got to create some content today. What is it going to be?
Yeah. And I think, do you know what I think as well? I think that a lot of people, so firstly, comment in the chat on Zoom or on Facebook and let us know how you feel about content creation. But my experience, and I love Cordelia knows this. I love creating stuff. I love writing. I love creating posts. I love creating it. And I will get inspired and I'll write something and then I'll post it and I'll be like, oh, I need to do this more often. And then I just don't, because I'm like kind of waiting on inspiration. I'm waiting on motivation. Even sometimes I'm like midway through, like, I don't know, just day-to-day stuff. And I get this idea. I'm like, oh, perfect. Just write that in my notes, because I'm definitely going to do that later. And it goes into the graveyard of all the abyss of lost ideas. And there are so many. And if I was able to get the abyss and just publish it all, then wow, I would have so much content out there. It'd be great.
I really want our next hire to be a content distributor. Like I would love someone to just have that role, just have the archives of content and just be distributing it all the time.
Yeah.
Does a bit of that. But yeah, we've got a couple of people in the chat. John says, I love doing freestyle lives, but I hate planning anything in advance. Emily says, I struggle to connect with my audience when I post. I connect with peers, but not potential buyers. Danielle says, I get confused and hear different things. Some say, don't be too salesy. Some say, get loud about what you do. How can you get loud about what you do without being salesy? Rachel says, I struggle with understanding best time to post, how much CTA videos, reels versus posts, etc. So there's a lot of complexity. So it feels really complicated because it's not like if you boil it down, right, it's really easy. You're right, you press post. Like that sounds really easy, but I don't think it's necessarily I mean, I know people struggle with creating the posts, right? Creating the content, the ideas for the content. And I think I reasonably help with that in terms of developing your concept. Like once you've developed your concept, it's theoretically, I feel like you're laughing at something. No, I'm laughing because Emily's just put in the chat, I dread doing videos because I can't be bothered to do my makeup. And I just totally resonate with that.
I just see you like smirking, like, oh God, am I doing? I thought it was my hand movements. I'm making hand movements.
No, I'm not laughing at you, darling. Don't worry.
I lost my thread then because
I'm sorry.
The self-conscious monster took over. Now I feel silly. But anyway, it's the complexity, isn't it? So ideas. If you have a solid concept, then that's basically what you need to continue posting about. And I find that I have fairly regular ideas with that, but it's content consistency and a system, and it's having and also I think as well, it's like looking back and going, God, if I'd have just posted all those things that I wanted to post, I would be here now with loads of content, right? Like who doesn't want to have loads of content on their social media that they've done already? Like if you go today, like I'm looking back today and I've just got all of this content done. And even, even the stuff that you didn't perfect, right? Even the stuff that's like, I should have just put it out. I judged it at the time. I worked on it at the time. I was really frustrated with it at the time and I didn't post it. But now with hindsight, I'm like, it should have just been there. It should just be in my history of things. Like I need this footprint path. Oh. Yeah. Pedro agrees. That's Cordelia's dog. It's like, I feel like that's a really big thing for me. That's a thing I can feel the regret for, is looking back and going, all those things that I didn't post, I wish I had posted them. I don't know if anyone else feels that way. Like you're looking back at what you've done now, like where you are now, and you go, I've been thinking about creating content for the longest time. And if I had just done it, even though it wasn't perfect, even though I didn't have the best ideas, I would have this history of content created. And so that's I think that's actually that was a big bane of my life. Does anyone else resonate with that, or am I on a completely different path?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have a dog and his name's Pedro. Yeah, cool. We've got one yes come in.
We got one yes. Come on, we can do better than that. I feel like I'm going to be one of those MCs at a
We got another yes.
Wedding. I got it.
Yeah.
What?
Definitely.
Oh no, I'm not gonna be that annoying. So just clarifying, do you feel like it's you wish you could look back and go, oh, all this content that I created that I kind of hated at the time, I regret putting it out, or I don't want to, that, does that make sense? Like this judging yourself, right? You judge yourself so you don't put stuff out there, and now you look back and judge yourself again because you're like, I should have just done it. We don't like judgment here, but yeah, I just want to clarify, is that something you guys can resonate with? If you'd have just posted it, you would be in this space of more confidence, you'd know better your content better, you'd have reached more people, you'd have achieved more if you'd have just posted the stuff. But you didn't, because there's a content system and a content calendar and pillars and
one of my clients, one of my private one-to-one clients yesterday, she was like, oh, I've done all these takes of these videos and I'm not sure which one I should put out. I've got everything set up, I'm ready to shoot it again because it wasn't very good, and she's worried I was going to be annoyed with her because she hadn't got this content out. And I was like, okay, well, let's have a look at it. And she showed me all these takes that she'd done, and the first one was perfect. Like it was, and that was the one that we've posted out because it was perfect. It was natural and whatever. And I think there is that element of overthinking for sure.
Oh God, yeah.
Got a couple of people in the chat saying pillars. Well, you're one of them, Caroline.
Yeah, I was
want to put
responding.
another scenario out there, which is the game of whack-a-mole that we do with content creation. So there is the Instagram reels, the Facebook reels, the Facebook posts, the Instagram stories, the Facebook stories. Then there's LinkedIn posts. Then there's your featured sections. Then there's live, right? Then there's webinars. Then there's emails. And all of this stuff is content. And the conversation that I have with a lot of people, and I feel like I've been here many times myself, is this constant game of whack-a-mole where you're trying to be consistent with everything. But every time you move on to another form of content or focusing on another thing, you lose momentum with the other one. And then you go back to that. Let's say like you're writing a blog, you get some blog posts out. Shit, I need to write some emails. You do the emails. Oh God, I need to do some reels. You put some reels out. I need to go live. And it's just like this constant game of whack-a-mole. Does anyone resonate with that?
There's never one thing. Like there's never like, I think it's always like, it's not FOMO, but it's this sense that, well, it's this definitely the sense of like what I'm doing is not enough. Like I can never ever do enough, right? Like, and also I think you also get to a point where you're like, oh, I have to just choose one platform. And then you hear all this other stuff like, oh, like no one's on Facebook anymore. And or like, I don't know, all the things, right? You may be choosing a platform. Emily Burford says, yes, it resonates. Laura says, from your class last week, I made a list of everywhere to post. Is so overwhelming. What did we say last week? Oh, you're muted, darling.
Oh, well, that might be because of Pedro.
Yes.
I was saying that have a list of places to post out a promotion on a sticky note near you, so that when you post that promotion out, you post it absolutely everywhere. That's what I was saying.
Yes, but and then we've got I do struggle with live versus story versus reels. Yeah, all of the different places. All of the different places. I wonder if we could actually count. Can you list for me in the chat all the different places and ways that you can post? Like, okay, so Facebook, you've got story, you've got posts, you've got DMs. I suppose they don't count.
That's
what else?
Well, I'll list them. You keep count, okay? Because
okay.
I'm used to listing. I list them all the time in like presentations and things. Okay, so we've got Instagram posts, Instagram reels, which is all videos now, Instagram stories, Instagram lives. Then you've got Facebook business page posts.
Also carry on.
Facebook personal page posts, Facebook group posts.
All of those have stories as well.
You have personal stories, so we'll add 2 to that. So add 2 to that for the stories on personal and business page.
That's
then
9.
All of them have lives.
Oh, geez.
Then there is reels as well.
No, I've lost. I lost count.
Then there is LinkedIn posts.
Yeah.
LinkedIn live.
Yeah.
Then we've got blogging. We've got emails, sending out email broadcasts.
Yeah.
And we've got YouTube videos and YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
We've got TikTok videos.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that's.
And now Pinterest is apparently the new thing.
Oh, events, Facebook events and LinkedIn events. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there are so many places.
I think we've got over like 15. So that's just something you have to do like daily is 15 of the same content, basically.
Well,
yeah.
Actually,
in theory, well, that's if only you want to put one on each thing, right? Anyway, so there's basically the point is there's a lot of places to post, and actually Nicola has put in, it's the whole repurposing that does my head in. It's such an intense activity. Okay, so I think we're leading the horse to water, aren't we? Like going, right, it's all about the repurposing.
We literally have the solution for this. We have an incredible solution that is going to solve this problem for you once and for all.
Yes, and Nicola, you're right. There is a huge element of repurposing. So how can you do that, right? So we've got Laura also says, and different content for different platforms. Yeah. Oh, there's threads now as well. Yes.
Are people still using threads?
You
Let
forgot
us know in the chat if you're using Threads. I'd be really interested to know how many of you are using Threads. If you're on Facebook, say I use Threads or I don't use Threads. Sarah's stopped. Yeah, I've stopped as well.
yeah,
But yeah, be interested
yeah.
to know how many of you. Nope, we've got a nope in the chat.
Okay.
Someone else has
So
stopped. Yeah, I think Threads is dying.
John has got the solution for us. We are campaigning right now to get everyone in the world to use one form of social media. That's it. That is the solution, guys. No, I'm joking. It's not. We're not getting everyone in the world to use one social media because each social media platform performs a different function. So we have to create a system. I actually heard this quote the other day that like it's something to do with, oh, I need to get it up, but basically like people don't fail because of the lack of like or their lack of like determination or resources. They fail because their systems don't support them, right? Like what you really want is not just like, because this is all basically based on all these like content calendars, content pillars, multiple posting days, keeping up with this whack-a-mole. The way to overcome that really is having 9 different arms. If you don't have 9 different arms, you have to create something that has 9 different arms for you that requires one person to control it. You have to have a system. And this is what the very, very, very foundation of Rebellious Business is. It is based on a 1 content per week system. And you guys are all part of it, actually. And you're all involved in it. You're seeing it and it's happening right now. But we want to get into the how to make that work. So I think the best way to get into it is to describe exactly what it is. Like, what is the 1 content per week system? And then we can kind of delve into like the basis of it. And Cordelia, you're the brains behind this.
No. Well, yeah, this is something as well that has developed and developed significantly over the years. And we have only recently started calling it the 1 hour content system, because that kind of does what it says on the tin. For those of you that have been around a while, like we've got Nicola Howard on this call. Nicola was on the first ever Rebellious Business Network session, let me tell you. So Nicola knows probably the evolution of all of this, or has witnessed some of it anyway. But some of you have been here a while and you understand all the tribe funnels stuff. And some of you are new and you've never even heard of the term tribe funnels. Now, this isn't about tribe funnels necessarily. This is not about building a community, although building a community is a very powerful thing to do. If you want a really high quality audience that feel a part of your brand, building a community is the best way to do that. However, we're going to park building a community, because what I want to just say for a minute is, for all of you guys that know about tribe funnels, this is not a tribe funnels talk. Okay, that's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about is the content element of tribe funnels that we have developed into a really powerful system. And that system enables us to produce a very large quantity of content without being on social media much. We're not on social media much. We don't really need to put much thought into the content that we're creating. It just happens. We've got somebody doing the repurposing for us, because it's, we've developed a system that we can outsource. And that might sound expensive, but actually outsourcing can be really cheap if you find the right person to outsource to. And also, if you've got a content system that's working really well for you, you're probably going to be getting enough inbound sales coming in to afford someone to come and work for you anyway. So, weighing up the balance, I did this on my own and then I could afford to have a team, and now I've got people that help me, right? So what you're doing at the start isn't always what you're doing 2 years down the line. But essentially, I do not create any Instagram or Facebook reels. I do not have a content calendar. I do not want a content calendar. I do not have content pillars. I do not want content pillars. I do not sit and create a month's worth of content in one day. I do not want to sit and create a month's worth of content in one day. I allow myself to be spontaneous and free in what I want to create, and Caroline does as well. And then we take that, we turn that into a system that then becomes an absolute machine. And it all comes from having 1 hour of content that you do per week. Now, that might sound a lot, but if you compare that to the reels, the content calendar system, the stories, you know, all this whack-a-mole stuff, I'm not going to relist it again. We've done that already. But if you compare it to all the work and the stress that comes with the work of creating content for all these different areas, like just doing 1 hour of content a week and then it's done is really, really simple, and actually reduces the amount of time you're spending on this significantly once you've got into the rhythm of doing it.
See, and here's another element to this, because I think one of the things I tapped on earlier was like, imagine if you could look back and you've got we have got so much content. We don't even, like, we currently haven't got a system to support the amount of content we've got. And we have had show episodes, and it's all around, like, you know, we're creating that content right now. We've had episodes we don't like. We're like, oh, that didn't go too well, or oh, I said this thing which is terrible. I can't believe I said that. We've got a few of those things, and it just been like, I'm writing, I'm focusing on this thing that I'm creating. I'm really focused, like, you know, that thing. I'm going to have so much judgment over it that I'm not going to post it. Whereas now I go, oh yeah, that thing I said, well, that's just a thing I said, right? Like, that's like, it's part of this history. And by the way, it's ancient history. By this time it gets to 10:30 and on Wednesday, because I'm now creating more content. So that stuff doesn't have to be dug up when I repurpose stuff. It's like, that bit can be taken out or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, it's like, you can look back and go, we've got so much content. And then you put this, we've got an AI app, which is called Opus Clip. You put your content in there, it chops it up, it creates a lot of it for you. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily rely on this, but it is a tool that enables you to create lots of reels, lots of shorts from content that you've got, which means that you can then fill your feed with content, right? I
think we need to rewind a moment, and we've got a really great question in the chat saying, can you clarify content? Do you mean an hour of videos a week? So let's get into the tangible specifics of what exactly we're talking about, and then we can explain how, like, what the process is that we use to churn out all the content from what it is that we do. So first and foremost, one of the things that I am always thinking about, and Caroline is always thinking about whenever we do anything, is leverage. What can we do to really leverage and get the most out of something so that we can work smart and not work really hard? And so we have this hour piece of content. We are on this hour piece of content now. This is our hour piece of content for this week. And we leverage this by, number one, promoting it like a live event, which gets people coming onto our email list because they want to sign up for this session. Okay, so it's generating leads for us, new email subscribers in our email list. Great. Then we deliver the session. We are nurturing our audience by having live FaceTime with our community and with our audience. Then we are also nurturing existing people and bringing new people in and getting a good intro session with them. And the magic begins after the show has ended. So we've split this into two things: pre-production and post-production. But it's the reason why it's an hour of live video is because that is the most leverageable thing that we can do. That is the way in which we can get the absolute most out of this hour of content. Me and Caroline could go hire a studio, go sit in a studio and pre-record a podcast episode, right? We could pre-record that podcast episode, then we could edit it and release it and then repurpose it from there. But if we did that, we would miss out on the massive amount of front end leverage that we have right now, which is using that podcast episode as a webinar that gets sign-ups and gets people on the email list, and having that live FaceTime with people, plus the live stream content on social media. We are live streaming right now to LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And from the research that we've done on our own content in the last year, we know that the highest reach, the content of ours with the highest reach is our live stream content. So without that live stream element, our reach would be lower, which would in turn significantly impact our ads, because our audience would be smaller and we wouldn't have such a big retargeting audience. But we're getting a bit complicated in advance there. But that's a future kind of benefit of building an audience on Facebook business page. So it kind of becomes this self-fulfilling machine, because we have this our piece of content that we promote. So we've got all that front end leverage. It's our lead magnet. We don't have downloadable PDFs. We have this live lead magnet. It's a way in which to build relationships with people, because we've got that live FaceTime happening. We've got that live stream content happening, which is really good for our algorithm, really good for our audience growth, really good for our ads audience as well. And then post-production kicks in. Once you have done that hour piece of content, you now have this video that you can do multiple things with. Number one, you can get the transcript of this call and you can turn it into a blog article. Number two, you can edit this video and turn it into a podcast episode. Number three, you can edit this video and turn it into a long form YouTube video. Number four, you can then get this video, drop it into an AI, get it to snip it down into shorts and distribute those shorts out on social media as reels or short videos on whichever platform you want to. And so what we have then done is that we've got this backlog of these hour-long pieces, which is our long-form content. And we've also got a content library full of all these reels. And the idea is that these reels then become a year's worth of content that we can push out again and again and again. So next year, all of this year's reels will be analysed, and we will look at what have been our top performing posts, and the top performing ones will get pushed out again alongside any new stuff we're now introducing. And I can actually show you our system for doing this, because I've got it open and I can share screen and show you. And I'll do that in a minute.
There's notifications there that I want to get into. So here's the thing, like the next part about this. Okay, so if you think about the system, and there's 3 steps, right? So it's kind of like basically the content is in the middle, right? We're going to do the show. So at the beginning, we want to get people into the show. We use the show to attract people. That's like it's our lead magnet. We go join the show, it attracts people. While we're on the show, it connects with people. And then after the show, it cultivates more views and a bigger reach. So this one piece of content attracts, connects, and builds in one fell swoop. Now, the promotion element of it is very simple as well. We've systemized that. We've got it very well sort of like managed as well, because I think a lot of people find promotion is somewhat, all of the things of it can be a bit like intimidating in their own right. But these are things that are simplified. We've simplified everything along the way. Like it's a very small, we have to put some time in it each week, but it's a very small amount of time, and it's so powerful. It's quite amazing. The second thing is then when we redistribute, we just put a link saying, would you like to join the audience of our next live show? And so then the redistribution begins to promote and attract. So it's doing so much in terms of attracting, connecting, and building. And the extra thing about this is that with this connection element, people are entering what do these girls do? What is the business? What are they offering? I actually really trust them. I really like them. I actually can't stand them. Never show me this content again. Flavor, because then we don't have to pay for ads to people that cannot stand us. So it's a very, very powerful system that does everything. It's actually amazing. And then I'm not totally opposed to content pillars, right? It's something I would want to do over time. But here's the glory. Here's what I love the most. And I alluded to this earlier, is that you don't get to fight with your ego and go, no, I'm not going to post this. You don't get to go, no, I'm not going to go live. I'm not going to do this. Like if we have had plenty of times where we go, we've been up again, we've done a lot. We're busy. We get 10 minutes before the show, we're like, oh Lord, I am not prepared. I am stressed. It doesn't matter. It is showtime. The show must go on. And we need deadlines. This is the thing I think is the biggest issue with creating content, is that we don't give ourselves important enough deadlines, that if you are not prepared, if you haven't got a brilliant idea, if ever, like, you know, whatever it is, you can create these excuses to stop yourself creating. And what the implication of that is that in a year's time, you're going to look back and you haven't got this library of content that you would have created if you had some accountability and the consistency, which is what this system does. So I love this system for accountable content creation. I have to create this content weekly, have to do it. Otherwise,
we opened this call by saying that we are having an okay-ish and a meh day, and I did that on purpose, right?
Yeah,
the show must go on. It's like that accountability is huge. I would not cancel this because we have people registered for it. We have people expecting it to be here. We have people that love attending and that want this. And if I start letting people down or feeling like I'm letting people down, I'm going to create inconsistencies in my reputation, which is not going to do anything any good. So yeah, that accountability is really, really important.
Oh, good. So it's like this system is what you get to lean on. Like, that's the thing that I really want to get to. The system is supporting you. You lean on the system, and it means that you get to be a human. You get to be flawed. You get to be like lazy. You get to be like, I'm not going to be prepared. I'm not going to be organized. You get to be these things. I mean, you know, this isn't me telling you to go and be lazy and unprepared. I'm just saying, like, everyone has bad weeks. Everyone encounters an ego block where you're like, no, I'm not doing it. And you don't do it. Like, we all do it. Like, hands up. You go, have every good intention to do X, Y, Z, and it doesn't get done. Why? Because you haven't got a system that holds you accountable and that makes it powerful, right? So if just because you've got a system, if you're not feeling this immediate impact, right? What's this immediate positive consequence, right? So you create this show. The immediate positive consequence, even if you've got no one attending it, is that you've got an hour's worth of content to go out. And so when you go next week, you've got that immediate, like, you've kind of like retrained yourself, like, oh, that was such a great outcome. I've got this immediate hour-long piece of content, which I can snip up, I can turn into I can do all these things. Next week comes around, like, well, yeah, okay, I can do that again. I've held myself accountable, like, because you've got an immediate results, and then that builds, is that compounding effort that is really amazing. Anyway, I'm sure we've already sold the idea. We could go into it. It's quite hard to say, like, this is so powerful in so many ways, but I don't think I need to sell anyone on it anymore. I think everyone's sold. You're muted, by the way.
Just one other thing as well is that we love having you guys here. I'm looking over here because I can see everyone's face over here on my second screen. Like, we love having you guys here. Yeah, it's awesome to have you guys here. But if you weren't here, let's say no one turned up to this session, we would do it anyway. And I say that because I have people ask me, yeah, but what if I promote this live event or this live webinar or this live stream content with a live audience and no one turns up? You do it for the post-production. You do it for the hashtag replay crew. I learned through surveying the Rebellious Business Network audience a couple of years ago, and I was really shocked to learn this, was that the majority of people are actually really engaged, but they watch the replay. They don't actually come to the live thing because they've got work commitments or calls or whatever. They're watching the replay. You have no idea how many people are consuming your content because you don't get given that data by Facebook. You get given some of it. You got hints like how many views it got. And, you know, you can see on video content for business analytics on the business page, like what your retention was, right, and whatever, but you don't know who. You don't know which people in your audience are watching and how long they're watching for and how regularly they're watching. You just got a feel for the fact that, okay, I've got a hunch that there are some people in the background watching this, but I don't know who they are. I don't know how much they're watching it, right? So it's incredibly powerful. Now, one other thing I want to mention is we have.
I also have a point on that.
Oh, go.
So basically, the sponsor of our show, Mark, we had a call recently and he was saying, so Mark also does, we were promoting it today, the Dex Education Show. You guys want to be a speaker on that? Well, like, sign up, you've got the link. Mark was saying, I can't remember like what it was, like he gets all of his views after. Like, so he goes live, there's not many people on the live stream, there's not many people necessarily in the Zoom call. but it's like, I think it said it's something mad, like an extra 300%. Like, I can't remember what the exact numbers are. We'll have to check with him, but he gets all of the views after he's posted. And for sure, the amount of people that are on our live stream and that are in our Zoom call is not representative of the final number that watches this, and not even just the final number that watches this. I.e., when this is being recorded live on Facebook, people can watch this. We get reels of this that gets more minutes watched than the actual show. We have like a 30-second reel. Actually, it's Sarah, one of our 30-second clips with Sarah, who's in our audience right now. It had like 5 hours of view time on like it was a really short clip. It was one of like it was a nice performing one. It's like, that was like, I don't know if that was necessarily more than the show, but it's like that 30 seconds got so much view time.
It was the hair.
Yes. Yeah. I think it was more than the hair. I think it was I think there was the sass and the brilliance. I can't remember what exactly it was, but we can get that data up. But yeah, just like, so the post-production of the immediate video is lots of people don't like to consume long form content. And also, if you're kind of finding your feet and you're like, oh, that didn't go too well, there's likely some elements where there's like, oh, that's gold, and that could actually get more engagement and could go viral, right? But the actual long form video could totally do terribly. But this is just a worst case scenario. So Mark, one of our clients, also the sponsor of today's show, he has found that in the replays he gets more, and also we send out the replays as well, so we get more eyes on it. Anyway, the system keeps feeding itself. It's a hungry snake in its own tail. Anyway, so Cordelia, back to you.
Well, I want to, for those of you that are visual learners, and if you're listening to this on the podcast, we actually haven't published on the podcast for a while because I'm actually about to start training Jennifer today on how to start doing this. I'm one of those annoying visionary business owners that is really good at things at the start. As soon as something becomes regular, needs to outsource it or it doesn't happen anymore. So the podcast is going to be fully populated. I know there are a few of you that listen to that on the go. It's a really good way of repurposing this. And I want to show you this whiteboard quickly because I think it will just visualize this whole process. So step one, if you want to do this, it's about picking a regular slot. So your task off the back of this call, if you want to do this content system and you're like, I want just that 1 hour of content to be my king of things. It's my main focus and everything else just threads off of that. That is the main thing I do. I don't have to worry about Instagram posts anymore. I don't have to worry about emails, because just to get this show promoted, delivered and repurposed, I'm going to cover all the bases with that. And if that's something you're interested in, I couldn't recommend it enough because it's just so powerful on so many levels. But this is essentially sort of the practical way it works. So here is the whiteboard, okay? And Caroline, can you just let me know you can see that? All right. And
I can see.
Can you see when I select that?
Yes.
Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. So we will split this up into 2 sections.
You've got a new tool that you love, haven't you?
I teach with this a lot. So we split this up into 2 sections. We've got pre-production and we've got post-production. The first thing you need to focus on in order for this to not become an overwhelming system is pre-production. That's it. That's all you need to focus on. So you have this slot. You need to create a slot in your week. Wednesday 10:30 is our slot for the Rebellious Business Show. When could your slot be? Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays are great days for a live slot, but you need to think about what is a time that works for me and what is a time that would therefore work with my audience. So pick some slots that work for you first and foremost, and then pick some slots that work for your audience. Most people will watch the replay anyway. Do not pick 8 p.m. on a Monday night because you think it will fit your audience, but actually you're going to hate delivering at that time. Don't do it. Pick a slot where you are highest in energy, where you are going to really like get the most out of your energy, because your energy is the thing that's contagious, that people are going to love about you and about your session. And it doesn't, it could be a number of things. It could be an information session, like a live podcast episode. It could be a training on something. It could be a demonstration of something. It could be a hot seat session. It could be pulling tarot cards. It could be a fitness workout. Doesn't matter what it is. It just needs to be regular and something that you can do live that you have a hunch your audience will be interested in watching. So you get that live slot, and now you decide what the first one's going to be and you promote it. And in the promotion of it, you get leads signed up to your email list. And because you're also going to promote it to your existing audience on social media and on email, you're also going to nurture your email list with that email. And you're going to nurture your social media accounts with that promotion of this free value-packed live episode of something. Then the live episode happens. And off the back of that live episode, it builds relationships with your audience. Live FaceTime is so valuable for building relationships. And you've got that live stream content on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, which grows your organic audience, gets you in front of new people, and it has a really good reach in comparison to other things. So that's the pre-production. That's what you need to focus on. So question is, when's my slot and what is this live piece of content going to be? Now, post-production is where things start to get super juicy. And that's where you go, right, I'm using a podcast as an example here, but you could totally, I mean, Caroline's just built an entire blog that we're going to be releasing soon. We've got a fun competition coming up as well. Lots of things in the pipeline, but you can totally edit this into a podcast, a YouTube video, a blog post, whatever you want to do, edit it into that. And then you're going to upload it to the podcast channels or YouTube and do a podcast release announcement to tell people that there's a new podcast episode out, and also repurpose it into clips. And you can either promote the podcast or promote the live audience. The call to action could be join the next show or listen to the full episode here, whatever you want it to be. But that's essentially it. Now, this then becomes your audience building content creation machine. You just focus on that. That is your only and main focus for putting content out on social media. You can get everything you need from that. You can get written content and video content from that. You can get long form and short form content from that. You can get interview content from that. You can get demonstrative, educational content from that. You can get everything you need from this one system if it becomes your main focus. The key is that you commit to that weekly slot being the one thing that you never drop the ball on. It is the thing that you are committed to. And then what you do is go, right, how can I leverage this? How can I get more from this? How can I get more leads? How can I get more inquiries? How can I get more followers? You know, and you start to sort of brainstorm and think, how can you leverage that? And the answer to that could be bringing better guests onto your show that have got a bigger audience, having a sponsor, getting onto TikTok with it, you know, whatever. You just get to brainstorm and think, okay, I've got this one thing. How can I get more out of this one thing? So that is the kind of pre-production and post-production and what it looks like. What I recommend you do is pick your weekly slot and then have a think about what would your weekly hour piece of content be? You are muted, my love. No, don't. Wouldn't it be good if it just unmutes as you start to talk?
Yeah, except when Pedro gets a bit gnarly.
He's a puppy in training, really, that one. He's still a baby.
I think it's really important to, and do you know what? I think it's fair. Like we coach on this, just to let everyone know, this isn't a pitch, but this is the cornerstone of our coaching and our program. So we're mostly, and this is a frustration for us as well, because obviously you can see like this is quite a big concept, but it's so powerful. Our audience predominantly, the problem is I want clients for my business, right? Like like our audience knows I need to have a bigger audience. I need to grow this over time. But right now my needs are to get clients. And so this almost gets put onto the back burner. And we have really powerful trainings on how to implement quick win strategies, right? So how do you get clients from your existing audience, your existing network with everything you've got now? We try and you've got to starting from scratch. You've got to be lean and you've got to get clients with what you've got. Okay. This is a long-term strategy, which is super powerful, but this is I wouldn't even say it's phase 2. This is the thing that we really, really want to focus on with our coaching. It's just that a lot of people are very, very caught up in, I want clients now. So we kind of go, okay, look, we're going to show you how to get these clients through much simpler strategies, much more, we call them quick wins, or we call them BAFE, right? It's build as you fly. Because like, so you're building out this content system while you're flying, okay? Because you want to get clients first. Okay, here's how we recommend you do this. Here's some strategies. Here we refine your message. Here's how you refine your offer. Here's the plan of action, right? You do that. And then this whole system is you're building it as you're flying, so that, like I said, you look back in a year's time and you've got all this content and you've got this huge presence, but you've also been like ideally getting clients as well. And by the time you've got this like big presence, this big audience, you've mastered promotion strategies as well, so you can get clients as well. And so this is, I don't know, for maybe people don't really fully grasp what we get, because it's quite difficult to say, we have this one content per week system. It kind of sounds small. It sounds bitty, right? It's huge. It's so, so powerful and so meaningful. And I think here's the main thing is like, we love that we can help people get clients and make sales. But what we want is we want impactors, right? Because you're not going to stick with this unless you really care about what you're doing. You might make content wrong. You might mess up sometimes, but you want to have a big impact. You want to connect with lots of people. Getting clients is almost like your quick fix. Maybe we should call it those. Quick fix is getting clients. But ultimately, I think our audience wants to get to a stage where it's like clients are not the priority. It's like, yeah, I've got clients. That's fine. That problem's dealt with. Like, clients are coming to me. I'm showing authority. It's an easier strategy, but what they want is like this forever, right? This is a long-term thing. This goes beyond getting clients, beyond getting sales. It's about creating a platform for yourself and an audience for yourself that will stand the test of time and support your growth as you grow as a business owner and an entrepreneur and an influencer. And I don't mean like influencer, like, you know, Instagram influencer. I mean like someone who's influential, but that takes time. A rolling stone gathers no moss, no snowballs, right? So it's very important. It's a build as you fly strategy, but you're going to be building and flying from day one as you implement. So I just wanted to share, like, if anyone's considering working with us, we haven't actually planned a call to action with this, but we've seen a fair bit of engagement and interest. So if anyone is interested in working with us and joining our coaching program, this is our system, and essentially our coaching. It supports you in doing that, and it helps give the insight to navigate that, so that you're not so deer in the headlights, right? So I just wanted to plug that quickly. And now I'm handing it back to Cordelia. We have a couple of questions.
We do. So one was on the software that we use to basically do all of this, and what we do to create the words. I believe that was also within that same question. So yeah, there are a couple of things. So we, unfortunately, you know, these things, if you want a quick solution, you often need to pay for software to help you get that quick solution. I actually wanted to do this for years. And every time I went to go and repurpose one of these hour-long clips, I stopped myself, or I stopped at one, or I stopped halfway through, because it was tedious. Even adding flipping captions to videos used to be ridiculously lengthy in how long it took. You know, like rev.com, and then you get the transcript transcribed by someone, and you get it, and then you got to attach it to the video. And, you know, I'm using Final Cut Pro, so that means like hand typing out or copying and pasting the words into each frame. Oh my God, I tried doing it. I was like, no, I can't do it. And I was looking for something for a long time. And it was after ChatGPT came out and the massively fast development of all these AI softwares. I do this because it's not actually artificial intelligence, but anyway, after all these softwares came out, these things started to become available, and it solved the problem of me being able to get this piece of content and turn it into what I wanted to turn it into. Now, the problem that was solved with AI was the lengthy time it takes to listen to an hour piece of content and find good clips and snip them out. and export them as video files, and then add captions to those video files, and then write something about the video, and then schedule it and post it, right? That's the system that we used to have access to, which took so long that I was like, I can't prioritize this. This is ridiculous. And luckily, what I can tell you is, even though we weren't repurposing that hour-long piece of content in the post-production section, the stuff that we were doing in pre-production was enough to continue the growth of our audience. So this post-production takes things to the next level. It's not a necessity to cause growth, but it will take things to the next level and cause more growth. But just the pre-production stuff alone, there were times when I was so busy and, you know, looking after so many clients and managing a team and all the things, that I didn't post on Instagram, for instance, for an entire month and a bit. And because every week the show must go on, because every week we promoted the Rebellious Business Show, that was continuing our growth. Like, we didn't lose followers, we gained followers, even though I wasn't putting out any other content. So I just wanted to know that.
Organic, by the way. When we say promotion, we mean there's like what, 3 or 4 places you post.
The only thing we run ads to is the networking event. That's it. We don't run ads to the show. So yeah,
So
organic.
the places we promote is LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Like, we don't go hunting, don't go to Facebook groups randomly. You can do that. I think it'd be really powerful. I actually think like we should be posting in more places, but we haven't added that yet. So our own Facebook business page, our own LinkedIn business page, and Instagram. And that's it. That's it. And then when
our
people
email list, but they're already leads. But yeah,
we got those leads from putting posts out on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn about an upcoming episode of the show. And people go, okay, I'd like to join that. I'm interested. They give us their email address, and then they're in the system for receiving reminders. I mean, that's really important. The reminders are really, really powerful. But essentially, it's only 3 places: Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. We're not doing loads of stories about it. Actually, I don't think we do any. We're not doing, it's just posts. We post with a small, we do like a video promo, and the only requirement is the promo has to be done before the end of this show. So we've even got that deadline, like, okay, it's time to get
next week's this morning before we jumped on here. You'll see me Monday when it's scheduled in exactly the same outfit as this, promoting next week's show episode, which next
I don't know what it's about.
He doesn't even know what it's about. We're talking about the next week. We're doing the anti-social media way to triple your conversions.
That one.
Yeah, that's a good one. So yeah, but the thing is that that's it, and it's so simple. So where was I? Because I stopped to talk about. Oh yeah, thank you, sorry. Just seeing your name reminded me of the question we're on. Flipping how I talk for England. Right, this is why I need my own show, isn't it? Because I talk a lot. So the tools that I use then. That have made this possible, by the way. You try doing it on a shoestring budget and you come to me and go, Cordelia, I have the gumption for this, because I do not. And I will take my hat off to you, because I can't sit and manually edit shit and write stuff about every single. No. So look, this is what we've created. I'm going to do it like this. This is what we've created with the content system that I have been using. This here is a library. Okay, of all the reels we have put out since September last year. And there are some gaps in here because when I look, there's gaps between November, there's 3 in December. Okay, so there was a bit of a gap. Then Jennifer took over. Now it's consistent AF, right? But this is the library of all the reels that we've put out. Now, little caveat here, we post these out as posts on Facebook, not as reels. I have this question a lot. What's the difference between a post and a reel? Do I do a post or do I do a reel? I would say the difference is entertainment content and content that's trying to drive people into a funnel or educate and get people to click links. Reels on Facebook, the links aren't very clickable. So my reason for doing all of this was to figure it out. So I was posting some as posts, as the square ones are posts, and others as reels. In the end, I realized I could just post a blooming rectangle post and it changed the post. But square means post and reel means reel, okay? And we were looking at this data and we were getting ChatGPT to analyze all this data. What does it mean? Like, you know, trying to figure it out. Oh, look, here's one that's got 5,100 reach and 232 minutes of watch time.
These are the cut ones, by the way.
These are the cut ones. I
these
think
are
this
very
one might be yours, Sarah. Is that Sarah's one?
I
How
don't
to
know.
break free from, anyway, whatever. So we've got some that have got really high reach and others, they're just a bit meh, right? They're not doing that great. But there are some that are doing really, really well. And so my initial reason for tracking all of this was that what I wanted to see was, should we be using posts or should we be using reels? Let me have a look at the difference. There's a marginal difference, actually. Reels perform a little bit better, but where reels massively underperform is in clicks. Facebook does not track the clicks on reels. Okay. Oh, Jennifer hasn't been tracking the clicks here, but never mind. Facebook does not, up here when I was tracking the clicks, yeah, Facebook does not track the clicks on reels because reels are not intended to be clicked on. So if you're trying to use your short form videos to get people to click links and go to landing pages and give you their email address, don't use reels, use posts. So we stopped using reels because I was like, well, the difference is marginal between how much reach we're getting. Reels have been designed for that addictive scroll through content, which is great if you're trying to increase views for kind of Facebook ads revenue and all that kind of thing. But in terms of trying to funnel people into your funnel, the clicks still outweigh the viewing on reels, essentially. So that's why we do posts instead of reels. Now, what this also has given us is a library of content. And we get to go through, Caroline gets to meticulously go through and edit every single caption that I have written or that Jennifer has written using ChatGPT and improve it if she wants to. It's all there and all systemized. We have a folder here which has all of them in. And if I click on this, I've got the video and then I've got this document here, which is the caption, the transcript of the video, and then the caption we've created with ChatGPT. So because it's organized, it's all editable quite easily. But how we know whether we would edit it and which ones we would edit or not is that we can organize these columns. The one that we're most interested in is minutes viewed. How many minutes are being viewed? Because that is really, it's more important than reach. Reach is just how much Facebook has pushed something out. Minutes viewed is how much is this content actually being consumed. Likes means nothing. And comments are important as well. And clicks are important, but minutes viewed is our main metric that we measure. So when we go to reorganize all of these in terms of the minutes viewed at the top, we want more minutes viewed because minutes viewed contributes to everything in our in our kind of Facebook ecosystem in terms of our ads and also our organic reach and everything. So we want more minutes viewed. So we get to reorganize this and take the cream off the top and post it again next year because we have tracked this. This is now not a content abyss. This is a content library, and we are documenting all of the results of all of this content. And we just come in, Jennifer comes in here once a month and updates all the metrics on the content from the previous month. And that's why we have this Facebook link here thing. It just takes you straight to the post. It's much easier to do it like that. So anyway.
This isn't something you need to worry about right now, right? So we also said, remember, like this is only something we've really initiated this year. Like we've only started tracking this year. So this is, again, like what happens with this system is you can continue. So now I'm creating blogs as well. And I'm hoping to like gain a lot more organic traffic from Google Google SEO with the content we've created, but I don't have to come up with blog ideas. I go, oh, okay, this video is about this. This is my keyword already. Like my keywords are determined by the content. So, but that is not necessary right now. It's just the potential. Your potential to grow is just phenomenal. You can continue adding layers and layers and forever. This is why I'm saying this is a long-term build as you fly strategy that you can develop forever and ever and ever, and it just compounds as you go.
Okay, let me just answer the software questions. Now I've walked you through what it is that we do. Software questions then. We use Zoom for the live audience. We use Restream to stream from Zoom to multiple places. Then we use Opus to clip into Reels, and Opus gives us the transcript as well of each clip. So we copy that transcript. We have got a ChatGPT command that we have designed ourselves that we then use to turn that transcript into a caption that goes with the video. We use Google Drive to store everything, and then we use Descript to turn the long form content into a podcast episode, because it's got the audio export settings that I need, and also I can just put the front and end on and edit quite easily in there. So that's Descript is solely used for the podcast episodes and the promo episode, the promos of the we use Descript for the promo video as well of the show. So that's Descript, Opus, Google Drive, Zoom, Restream. What else do we use?
So we also use an email CRM and landing page as well. So you can get and ChatGPT. So I think the fundamentals are really an email marketing system or an email marketing software. Aweber, we recommend Aweber. It includes landing page to get started, because you basically need to say, I'm running this event on, or I'm running this live video on this day, and you create a promotion, you create a link to a landing page which people sign up for, and then they get the registration to join the link. So you really need to have a Zoom registration link that is emailed out to people, and then that landing page. Okay, so that's pretty basic software, but like it sounds complicated. So an email marketing system that has landing pages is absolutely fine to get started with. And then you need, so that is it, and then you can post it out. To edit it, you then need more sophisticated things as well, like Descript, like ChatGPT, like Opus Clip. And then for filing and organizing, we use Google Drive. It's free, although you might need to pay for it if your library gets huge. Which ours is ginormous, by the way, because of the sheer volume of content that we have created this way. And but for me, when I first started my tribe funnel, I had Aweber, I had Zoom, and Facebook group and page. I don't even think I had a business page, because that wasn't even part of the strategy at the time. So the most basic form of software, the most basic softwares are email and Zoom. I would say the very, very foundational.
Yeah. So just to simplify, we're splitting things up into pre-production and post-production. I think the question was about the post-production, which is why I walked over that really complicated post-production stuff, but that's the post-production stuff we're using. But yeah, awesome. And then there's also the pre-production thing, which is the Zoom and Facebook streaming. But yeah, that is Restream is used for pre-production. Final note on this. I know a couple of you that are asking questions are actually inside the Rebellious Entrepreneur Academy. And again, not wanting to necessarily plug or pitch, because we don't really do that on this show. But if you want to join the Rebellious Entrepreneur Academy, it's £99 a month to get access to all of our content and so much more. If you're in the Rebellious Entrepreneur Academy, and for instance, Sarah, there is training on how to do this repurposing system, and it's here. So come into the academy, come down to bonus content, come to optimize and streamline, and we've got content multiplication here. So you've got all the tutorials with using Opus, and also our ChatGPT command is in there for turning it into clips, etc. And then there's also training here on creating that content library system, what to do with it, how to track the metrics, and then how to then put that out next year. So that is all there for you to go and grab if you want it.
And also all the pre-production stuff is in there as well, if anyone is interested in just learning the very basics of the promoting, like setting up the event, promoting the event, and emailing people about it as well. That's all in there as well. We will be sending this replay out, and so if you guys keep an eye on your emails, and you can rewatch this. It's also going to be on the Facebook Live. Do we have any questions or celebrations? I'm going to sneeze.
Celebrations.
Yeah.
Good
telling
to
us how amazing we
know.
are. So Laura, she's told us we're amazing. Brilliant. Thank you. Nicola Howard says, juicy, cool today. Sarah Ty says, thank you. Sarah actually shared some lovely feedback. She said, just brilliant. She said something earlier as well that it was just very, very favorable to us. So I enjoyed that. So yeah, I think that's all.
Marvelous. I think that's a wrap. Romeo done. Thank you very much.
Romeo done.
Thank you very much for being here, everyone. Lots of love. Have an amazing rest of your week and go get some sunshine. If you're in
Yes.
the UK and you're receiving sunshine for the first time in a while, go get it. Lots of love, guys. Speak to you soon.